Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live on a Monday, MLK Day. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We working as Black people, even though we work for ourselves on MLK Day. We didn't have to do it, but we did it anyway. Um, but yeah, we are live and for the first time in a month in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice, Karen, and we're live recording a podcast, both of us in New York City. I don't think we've ever done that before.
No, because last time we didn't. We recorded, but we didn't record our show.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the first groundbreaking, news. It's, groundbreaking episode of the Blackout Tips. Everybody's witnessing history right now.
We got everything up and running, and got all the mics and the soundboards and all that good stuff that you do. And because I'm not even taking no credit for that, I just kind of just showed up and plopped my ass down.
Yeah. So we'll get into a lot of that stuff in a few seconds. But the main thing I wanted to say is the show upcoming stuff, like the upfront, which is of course email us the blackouts at Gmail, all that stuff in the show notes. If you want to leave 5-star reviews on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, we'll read those. We love those as long as they're nice.
Mm-hmm.
The official weapon of the show is
the taser
and the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme, son. But yeah, so Karen's in New York, up here. We haven't done much. It's still COVID out here in these streets. Still I'm working, full time doing game theory. But it's been cool to have the last couple of days off with you and hanging out. How was your trip?
My trip was fine. I actually this time I was more prepared, so the process was a little bit easy. When I mean prepared, I was prepared when I was landed, because went to LaGuardia and that bitch was long as hell. It felt like a 45-mile hike from where I was to where the baggage was, because you gotta walk a smooth mile down these long ass hallways, and then you walk through this big ass food court, and and everybody playing music and people talking and shit, and you just like, where's the fucking baggage claim? And I just kept following the arrow that says baggage claim this way, baggage claim this way. I was like, bitch, I've been walking. How far is the fucking baggage claim? Then you got to go up some stairs, then you got to go down some stairs, and it's like, oh shit, where the fuck am I? I just want my fucking luggage. Like, this is an adventure. The fuck is this? And the first time it wore me out because I did not expect to walk the piece so far. But this time I was prepared. I paced my breathing. I got my power walk on, and I was prepared for the stretch this time. So
were you in the at the same gate?
Not
because I mean, if you were in a gate that was far away, but this time you weren't, it would have felt like, like it was less, because it would have been less too. Like it could be that. Or you think it was at the same gate or same around area?
Yeah, I think because I think the way they have them kind of divided up, it wasn't the same general area. I don't know if it was the same area, because I know they have like different places, but I remember the walk being kind of lengthy, so I was kind of prepared for it this time. And the reason why I think was saying, because I remember walking through the same food court, and I remember going down the same long ass hallway, and I remember climbing up all these steps to get to the top, and they were like, you can't return here. And I'm like, okay, I don't plan on returning. Then you got to go down the escalator or whatever. One thing I did take advantage of was them little things that kind of move on the floor for people. I don't know what you call them. They're not escalators.
Yeah, it look like the Jetsons, like things that on the floor, like a trolley type thing. Mm-hmm. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I took advantage of that, because you could literally, at the pace I was walking and the way it was moving, it sped the process up, because you walk and it just kind of pushes you forward as you're walking. So I was able to cover a longer
faster distance.
yeah,
Yeah.
faster distance in a shorter period of time. So I think that really helped too. And I'm not New Yorker, but I was moving like a New Yorker. I was like, bitch, I just want to get to the luggage. Just let me just get to the luggage. I'm just trying to get to the luggage.
The thing for me is I find that walk to be relaxing because I've never had my luggage beat me to the luggage pickup area. So I'm not hustling for shit. I don't need to hustle. I can take a slow ass stroll. I've always had to wait 10, 20 minutes. So I'm gonna just hurry up to get there to stand there. Like, nah, fuck it. If anything, I'll next time I might stop by a food court or some shit.
I might do that in lollygag because I think the first time it took me so long that my luggage was there way before I was, because I was just trying to find out where the fuck I was. I wanted a pin to be like, you are here, because I was like, where the fuck is the luggage? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I was tired. I was out of breath, and I was just confused.
Yeah, I never had. Yeah, it's crazy. I've never been in the airport where my luggage beat me to the luggage rack. And the worst to me is the one where it's a transfer and you got to like run through the airport to make sure you make your next flight. Those are the ones that really bother me and scare the shit out of me. I hate like a you got 20 minutes to be on the next plane type of transfer
That's
shit.
like, if I can take a straight flight, I don't want to live nowhere, bitch. Nope. Get me in the luggage on the plane and get us there in one motherfucking trip. Because a lot of times what happens, depend on the flight, you literally have to go literally pick your baggage up and then rush to the next location just so you can be sure you and your fucking baggage get there at the same time. In some cases, you can just go straight to the next thing and just keep it pushing, because they just supposed to do that. But every now and then I've had it where you had to go pick your shit up. I'm like, look, this is too much trying to fly through these different, particularly if it's an airport you're not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
It could become stressful.
And you saw your first bodega cat.
I did. I thought it was a myth because everybody told me, we got bodega. I'm like, whatever. Ain't no such thing as a bodega cat. I never seen one. So I got to see one, and it came out of nowhere. I guess whenever we go in there, they be sleeping or rested or on a 4-hour lunch break most of the time we get there. And so it just so happened a lady behind us was talking. I was like, what is she talking to? I was like, oh, it's a cat.
Yeah, we hadn't. Well, last time you were here, we didn't really go into a lot of these places. Like, we didn't do a lot of bodegas and stuff. I think we really just started messing around with like bacon, egg, and cheese and all that shit right near the that week, because obviously COVID, but also work and just my introverted personality. I was like, I'm not doing shit until Karen gets here anyway, so I really wasn't going into bodegas and stuff that often, but to even see the cat. So I saw a couple, but yeah, that was cool. And the bodega breakfast is like cool, and there's like one or two on every block, so it's like you can always just go grab a sandwich at any point in time, and that's always a cool thing.
Yes, and that's one thing that I do like about here. You really don't have to drive out. Now I will give y'all kudos about that shit. You literally walk outside and like walk a few feet or around the block or around the corner, and somebody's like, look, we got bacon, egg, and cheese. We got this, we got that. Some of them is like everything but the seats. And like, we got literally everything, but you better get your ass in here and get the fuck out. We ain't full serve, but we got everything else for you. And so I really do like that, because you literally, I don't know if they do breakfast 24 hours, but it's one of them things. You going in there, somebody's back there cooking something, preparing something, mixing something, turning something, churning something. So I really do like that process, and I am glad that like I said before about me getting used to the trip. I even mastered the Uber situation, because the first time when you do the Uber, and I didn't even know what an Uber thing was, so it took me forever to figure out how to get there, because it's very confusing to try to be like, okay, where am I supposed to go? And they got signs, but it was still kind of confusing because you're trying to walk and trying to move around, trying to figure out, am I going in the right direction? I know it didn't last time, but this time a voice came over the intercom, was like, hey, you need to go towards this direction. I was like, oh, thank you. At least somebody over the intercom was like, look, this is the direction you go for Ubers, and this is the direction you go for family and friends. So I figured out that piece. And when you go out there, they got like every letter of the alphabet out there. And I was like, okay, the fuck is this? So I figured out how to read the alphabets and how to get to my
Oh, you
car.
finally figured out how to read the alphabet? Okay.
Yeah, I know how to read the alphabets.
Oh, okay.
But like how the layout is, because it was confusing. You walk out there, that shit is winding and turning, and you walk this way and you walk that way, and just a bunch of cars fucking parked around. And I was like, okay, this is too much for the senses right now.
Yeah, I guess, traveling can be overwhelming. And I think if you start anticipating stuff, maybe it can get over your head. I think for me, the airport is laid out extremely simple to me. And once you get here, there's no need to be in a rush. So I just take my time, and each step you basically can like see the next step from there. So it's like you get off, and it's like the first thing you're gonna see is baggage claim this way. Just start walking that way until you get to wherever the baggage claim is. And every time you get a little confused or lost, there's always a sign like, keep going this way, go this way. And so I just follow the signs, wait on my bags, and then I get my bags. And then immediately when you look up from there, you can already see like, here's where the ride share stuff is. Here's Uber, here's Lyft or whatever. And I just did that. And I think when I got there, it was like, go to the parking lot, and you go outside, and it's like, all right, Uber and Lyft, that's row E or something like that. And it's like, okay, so start looking around in the parking deck, like must be some letters. And then I got all the way to E. So like, yeah, to me, it's like I just get real calm during those periods, because I know panic and anxiety doesn't help. And I know that everybody's done it before, and all these people have done it before me, because I can get overwhelmed about things a lot of times because of my anxiety. So a lot of times I have to just relax my mind, and that's how, I'm like, I'm not the first person to ever get an Uber from here. And the first time, I let the dude hustle me for the Uber, but just really more for the story. And plus I knew he wasn't gonna do shit to me. But this time, of course, I took the Uber and saved myself probably $40-$50 from being hustled or some shit. And it was really just a breeze to get into town.
And also, I think that I can get in my own mind, if that makes sense. Like, I think, like you say, a lot of it's just my mind racing, and I'm trying to think, okay, what do in my mind? I'm like, okay, what do I need to do next? Where do I need to go? I don't want to be out here standing in the way, fucking it up for somebody else, where they trying to get to their debt. But most people are not going to bother you anyway, because they're trying to get to wherever the fuck they're going. So most people are going to walk around you. But I be in my head too much, and I just start panicking. And then a lot of times when I'm panicking, I'm not really paying attention to the shit around me. So I probably the first time, I probably was not that long, but in my mind, I kept saying, "What the fuck I'm gonna get there? I just want to get my bags. I just want to get like in my head, I just want to get the bags."
Yeah, but to me, panicking is when the mistakes happen.
That's true.
It like when it's I just gotta like when that voice starts speaking to me, those are the times I fucked up and looked back and went, why was I tripping so hard? And then the other thing is, everything you want to do, somebody's done before.
Not true.
Even with this Airbnb thing, my anxiety was off the chain, because I came here, I only had a week, as opposed to last time where I knew months in advance, I knew all the dates. And it was frustrating to have a week to figure out what my living situation was. And I knew that about a month in, I was gonna have to transfer Airbnbs. And I was so overwhelmed about that when I first got here, and establishing everything, because I was like, I'm gonna have to move at some point. I'm gonna have to take this over here. And logistically, I was trying to think of things, like, what am I buying for this Airbnb that is gonna have to come with me to somewhere else? Is I'm gonna have to get a box? Am I gonna have to, all this shit? And of course, getting used to that new living space, with the radiator and the stairs and the different distance and the different neighborhood and all that stuff. And the main thing for me was just to be like, you know what? You're not the first person that's ever had this happen. You're not the people do this all the time. You're an adult. You're gonna figure it out. And it wasn't like an aggressive, like, I'm ready, I'm gonna prepare. It was more like a, you can handle this. One of the things I had wrote in my journal was like, you are the person that got you this far. So
Yes, that's true.
when you think
Yeah.
about, if you hear whoever you are, wherever you're at, you got here, not saying with no help or the help of other people, but you the main, focal point of the
Yeah,
things
it's
that
like
got you where you at.
you figured it out this far. You can figure it out beyond this
So
point,
you have to
right?
have some belief in yourself. And so, you know, um, I just looked at it that way, and and I think that that's really honestly done me a world of difference, just thinking about things that way.
Yeah, and also I do think that all jokes aside, for the trip, uh, when I went to New York, out of all, because I've flown before, but out of all the times I've flown, I've normally have flown with somebody else and with other people. And I think that that was the first time I was actually from start to finish kind of by myself. And I think that in my head I was like,
Well,
okay,
last time you came up here, weren't you by yourself?
yes.
Oh, so you talking about last
Yeah,
time?
the first
Okay.
time. Yeah. This time it was so much smoother. Like, cause I was prepared, cause I kind of knew what to do and how to get ready and was familiar with the layout. So this second time, that's what I said. Second time was much smooth. But I think that first time, that was like literally the first time, because I've normally have flown with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Be it family, be it friends, be it somebody else. I never have gone through the beginning of the process to the end of the process, kind of just depending on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that might sound wild,
No,
but it's
it
just
doesn't. It doesn't sound wild at all. Like I said, you're not the first person to experience that. Someone else hasn't experienced that, and you're educating them right now, and you won't be the last.
so for me. I think that's where that overwhelming got in my head, because I was like, okay, it's just you. You don't have nobody to depend on. You fuck up, you gonna be out here all alone and by yourself. Like, get your shit together, girl. And I think from that I went into panic mode, which was probably not the right thing to do, because like you say, you're somewhere where people are around and they want your ass to get to your destination as much as you do. Like, they
Yeah,
don't
I
want you
mean,
lost in the airport.
honestly, like I like I said, it's not that it's impossible. I mean, we've heard stories from Keith Malley, from Keith and the Girl, where he's gotten behind the counter somehow, getting lost in the airport. So it's possible for that to happen to somebody. But you know, millions of people go through airports every day, and we know America's track record. They're not all smart. And
No.
so if them motherfuckers can figure it out, you can figure it out too.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
Like
right.
it'll be fine for the most part. And honestly, even with Keith Malley's story of getting stuck behind the, like, popping up behind the counter because he didn't know where he was supposed to go, he still found a way to get to his destination. Like, that's not a story of, and then we never saw him again. Like, even if you fuck up, that bad, you will probably be fine. So I think
Yes.
those are the things I keep holding on to, and then I don't panic, and then I'm normally fine.
Right. And also, when your mama had because your mama picked me up, so when she dropped me off at the airport, I looked up, and normally when me and you go, we do the people that check your bags and stuff in, right?
Yeah, it's easy. I do what Karen's talking about is, ever since they started this service at the Charlotte airport, I do the curbside bag check. So soon as I get dropped off, I just go up to the dudes like, can I check my bags right here? I don't know if American Airlines offers this at every airport or whatever, but those dudes basically take your bags and right there, and they put them on the plane for you, and you give them like a little tip, and they take care of you.
Right. And so when I looked over, I was like, oh, that line's long. And me trying to be all smart, I was like, well, I'll just go in. So I went in and I went to the computer, did all the prompts. And it's supposed to print out the thing for your bag. So I was like, well, this is supposed to print out the things for my bag. So people was like, well, did you tell it to? I was like, I don't know. Kind of find out I didn't tell it to do that. So I was the dumbass at the airport. And I was like, okay, next time I just do the check-in thing, because I'm out here looking like a motherfucking fool in the airport because I didn't tell the machine to print out my thing. But at the same time, I know I'm not the only one. Like you say, I'm pretty sure they've had other people. They walk up there, go, "Can I have your thing?" They go, "Well, it didn't do it."
Well, you printed it out.
Yes, I did.
So obviously they do that. They get that a lot. Like there's nothing you're gonna do that no one's done before. It's
That's
always
true.
it's just
That's true.
there's a way of figuring the shit out. When they lost my bag, I like that night I was not even it wasn't even the whole night, but when I got to New York this time and for the first time ever, one of my bags didn't show up. And they just sent me a text like, yeah, your bag isn't going to show up. You need to put your information of where you stand into this thing and on the internet form and submit it, and then we'll let you know, blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, it didn't show up. And I was, here like, what am I going to do? I got to go to work tomorrow. Half my shit is in this bag. And they got it to me that night. Some dude drove all the way across, New York to get to me. And I said, oh, duh, because this ain't the first time. Like,
right,
it's just so it would have worked. I would have figured it out anyway. But yeah, I think a lot of this stuff is that, and I'm not trying to minimize that. I'm just saying like you can do it because you're a capable person, and to me, the feeling to avoid is the aggressive and panic and anxiety.
Yeah, because I think that's what was happening. Because if I would have literally slowed down and kind of prompt through the screens, probably as it was prompting me, I probably would have did it the first time.
Yeah,
I was like, beep, 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 beep. Wait a minute, something not right.
And I'm only telling you that too because I struggle with that. Like,
okay,
I've had that, and these are the coping mechanisms that I've learned over the years to not succumb to that as much, because I definitely can have that same like, what's happening? Am I gonna miss my plane? The machine not gonna work?
Like your mind starts ticking.
Yeah, and then the next thing I know, I did fuck up because I was paying attention to a future I can't control, or a past that that's already happened, and not the now in the moment. So I think that's a big thing. Even last time you missed your flight and you still figured it out and got here. So to me it's like it'll be fine. But I'm glad you're here now, and I'm glad we've gotten to hang out and do a couple things. I mean, it hasn't been a lot. You got to try that steamed rice.
That was absolutely delicious. I mean, the one with the corn in it.
Yeah, it's steamed rice roll is what I think it's called. Joe's steamed rice roll, I believe is what it's called. And we talked about it on the podcast before, and I was like, you got to try this. And so we ordered some today. And what'd you think?
Oh, it was absolutely delicious. One of them had shrimp in it. I don't know what the other one was.
Yeah, that was the shrimp roll. And then the other one was like his classic steamed rice roll.
And it's really because I like to touch my food. I'm a toucher. So I like to eat like sushi and stuff. I like to actually touch with my hands. And so it was really soft to the touch, almost like paper, like when they do sushi roll with like a paper wrap. It was, but it's a little thicker than like
it's like a noodle. It's like a wrapped noodle around something. Yeah,
right. And it was absolutely delicious. Then you had something else that looked like some kind of sandwich or something.
So I think it was like a scallion quote unquote pancake, but you can add 3 fillings to it. And so they make it almost like you would imagine like a Taco Bell crunch wrap that's got something inside of it. And I think we had like egg, lettuce, scallions, and something else. And oh my God,
that bitch was
and spicy mayo. And it had like these crunchy, almost like tortilla chips
in it.
Oh my God,
that shit was fucking flames. I bit in that bitch. I was like, ooh, yes, sir. So that right there is delicious. Now, one thing I do love about coming up here, I'm not gonna lie, we got good food down south, and I'm not knocking it at all. But you can experience foods up here that you can't get down south. Like it's certain food, because that place right there, I don't, to the best of my knowledge, there's nothing like that down south. And so it's one of those things where, particularly if you're looking, y'all got like a true melting pot up here. because I'm pretty sure y'all probably got good Ethiopian food, good, all types of food from all across the world up here. And so that thing was fucking delicious. And I'll go, oh, you would not get this anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so when I tell you we bit into it, it was absolutely delicious. So one thing I do love about coming up here, we be getting introduced to all types of different foods because I'm an eater. So I will try anything once. And so I'm pretty sure there's probably a list of stuff that we probably pick up or Uber or whatever while I'm here to try the different types of food, because I am down for just a new food eating experience. And now that right there was worth it. It was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I also got a like I also moved the Airbnbs last week, and I think we haven't done a show since then. Or maybe we did a feedback show and I didn't talk about it, but so the move was interesting because the day got moved because they had to move it back a day because I think people were in this Airbnb and they need to, of course, clean it and get the people out and shit. And so I misread the email. Well, first of all, they sent me an email that was like, hey, you get an extra day free. You don't have to move till Thursday. I said, cool. Told my people at work about it. Thursday, they said, you can work from home. I said, cool. Thank you for that. I'm glad to have a job like that. And so I'm working from home. There's a couple meetings and stuff I have to do, but essentially I woke up early and just started packing everything because I was like, I want to have everything packed and possibly even move in, and then just like once I move everything in over here, I can go to my meetings virtually through my computer and then just start unpacking throughout the day and all that. Well, I thought because they pushed it back a day, like, oh, that means the next day I should be able to check in almost any time because it's been like an extra 24 hours.
Right.
And the email said check out at 11 of the other place. And I'm like, well, then I can't check. I mean, I have nowhere else to go. So I would have to check in to here. So I'll get an Uber. I got a bunch of boxes and all that, not boxes, but a bunch of like luggage and stuff. And I'm gonna have to make 2 trips. And what I plan to do is take the Uber over with all my stuff packed, unpack some of it, take a couple empty suitcases back, pack the rest of the stuff, and then get an Uber back, So, man, I get over here and get into the room. First I walk by like 3 people that are leaving, and it's like 11 o'clock. And then I get in, I come up here, and there's just stuff laid everywhere. Like the bed's not made. There's cleaning supplies on the floor. There's like all this shit, happening. And I'm like, backing out like Homer in the bushes, like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to be here yet.
I'm too early.
And so nobody was in here. The lights were off, but I was like, clearly I've read this wrong. I need to come back at 3 or whatever and check in. So I bust ass, get back, get another Uber and get back. And of course I'm going up and down these stairs with all these fucking suitcases, which the bane of my fucking existence is just a very small staircase. And I'm just lugging this heavy ass shit back up and down. And so I go ahead and get everything back. I do my meetings and stuff. And then I, basically work until around 3 or so. And I'm like, let me text the person to see if I can come over yet.
Right.
Because I don't want to come over early again and have another awkward situation. So I text him, hey, can I move in? It's 3. He said, oh yeah, it should be fine. Matter of fact, they got a couple guys here to repair the window thing that I talked about with them last time. They said they're gonna be there. They might come by like at 4 o'clock or so. I said, sounds good to me. Cool. I'll get ready to head over. I head over, get the Uber, blah, blah, get here, open the door. And this time outside the door was just like boxes of stuff, including one box of like shrimp that had been clearly taken out of the refrigerator. Like some nice prawns, like some good shrimp too.
And the good shit.
And I said, what? And there's another apartment here. So I said, oh, maybe they put some shit in the hallway. That's weird. Open up the door and there's like tiny woman cleaning here.
She hadn't finished.
She's got her back to me. And I come in, I don't see her at first either. I come in with my bags and shit. I don't expect anyone to be here. I think it's weird that shit is outside. I was like, I guess they come back and get that later. I was like, it must have been a real close call. And I look in the bedroom, this woman is like making the bed and shit. And now I'm a big black guy carrying a bunch of shit, trying not to scare this woman.
Right.
And so I'm like, excuse me. She didn't have on headphones or anything, but she turns around and she is like, yeah, like she screams, I scream, we scared the shit out of each other. I was like, ah!
So everybody's screaming.
And then she was like, I don't speak English. And I'm like, okay, I don't speak Spanish. And I'm like, hey, I'm like trying to like show her like, this is I'm supposed to be here. They said I could check in at 3. How much longer do you need? And she was like 10 minutes. And I said, that's fine. I'm going to unpack my stuff so that I can take, like I'm just want to leave some stuff here so I can, do my plan, take the empty suitcases back, blah, blah, blah. And so I do that. And then I come back like maybe 20-30 minutes later, and then she was gone, but the people fixing the windows were here, and one of them's like, I can't fix this other window, I need a new part, I'm gonna come back later. I was like, it's fine. But yeah, it was just an interesting move. But yeah, I got all settled down and settled in, and we even had this podcast studio set up today. What was interesting is I forgot to tell Karen to bring a microphone, even though I Amazoned all this other shit. I had everything except the microphone, which is just ridiculous, and I'm looking around to see options to get a microphone to this place or get one, because we needed it by today, because we were doing something for Keith and the Girl for their recap last week on Keith and the Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, it's supposed to be the greatest city in the world. You can get anything anywhere, blah, blah, blah. Where can I find a condenser mic today or tomorrow before 5:00? And I'm going on Instacart, and it's like, you can get one from Best Buy. And then I put it in my cart, and then Best Buy, it was like, not currently in stock. Delete this from your cart. And I was like, okay, so they was lying, because I think Instacart be lying sometimes.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, let me see. It's like, do you want to drive to a Guitar City in Brooklyn or some shit? I'm like, I can't do that.
No, ain't nobody doing that.
There's a Guitar City in like Manhattan, but it's gonna take like 30-40 minutes to get there. There's like all this stuff. And so I just actually went on Twitter and said, hey, New York City people, greatest city in the world, I need a condenser mic. Where can I get one today? And people was like, go to B&H. And I looked up B&H online. They are a mile away from where we're at. It was cold as shit, so it was like a 30-minute, it would have been a 25-30 minute walk, because a mile in the city is not necessarily like walking a mile, like a 15-minute mile anyway. And the hawk was blowing, so we was gonna definitely Uber there. But it was like, you can go online, you can buy it online, get there, pick it up, and just bring it, and you'll get the mic. And sure enough, that's exactly what I did.
This was the greatest store I've ever walked into in my whole entire life, y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the best shopping experience I've ever had.
Yes.
We talked to him today from Keith and the Girl, and she was telling us that it's like religious and it's owned by Jewish people, and they got a lot of holidays and da da da. I don't know all that. Although I will say religious people are 2 for 2 with shopping experiences, because Chick-fil-A also do not miss. Okay, this is not me obviously co-signing any of their political or religious beliefs, but I just know, as far as running a restaurant, the religious people is 2 for 2.
Because they was on it, man. That shit wearing like a well-oiled motherfucking machine. Like, you went somewhere and they was like, yeah, you got a question? It was like, yeah, just stand over there and somebody be with you in a minute.
Yeah, you have that. And then they had, no exaggeration, 30 registers open.
And they were all open.
All of them were open. And you just stand in line and it'll just register 13 is open. And then you just walk to register 13. And yeah, B&H photo is what it's called, photo and something. And when I say we got in and out of there with everything we needed in like 5 minutes, it was almost jarring how fast we got in. And like I left and part of my brain was like, did I get everything? Like,
right. Was I missing something? Because the thing is, when the dude was like, "Yeah, stand over there," he literally sent us right where we were supposed to be. So it was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, like the shit we need is right here."
It wasn't even rude. It was efficient. Because I walked to the counter and was like, man, I'm looking for a mic cord. He said, if you need help, just stand right over that spot and somebody will come to you. And I was thinking, my brain at first was like, damn, man, like you can't help me. But then I was like, no, that's right. Because you know where else I've been and no one did that. And I wish they did. Best Buy.
Yes, just
when you come in a Best Buy and everybody, it's like herding cats. And then they randomly walk up to you and just fucking decide who they helping. And you could have been there for 30 minutes looking at radios and this other person literally just walked by a second ago and they'll be like, let me help this person. No, take the guesswork out of it. Everybody stand right here. And whoever's first will serve you first.
Right. We'll help you. We'll help you. You know what? And there were people literally standing around in them shirts. And so if you walked up to one of them, Dave was answering all of your questions. Cause we was like, we walked up to the lady, was like, yeah, we got this cord and we trying to buy some. Can we do them both at the same time? She was like, you sure can. I was like, oh, okay. And then we walked up there. The dude that was taking out thing, he had everything in there. I was looking at the screen, and because they have like a glass thing, and you can actually look down to see what like they type it into the screen. He had like the address, the telephone number, he had email address, he had everything. That shit was popping up like crazy. I was like, yeah, holy shit.
It was all just stuff I had filled in for my pickup. So that's what it was. But yeah, it was just very easy experience. And that was dope to find a place within a mile that had something very specific that we needed and we needed fast. And even to the point where like we got to see our girl Nick Jew. She came over.
We did.
And that was obviously, it's been too long since we got to hang out with her, but it was so fun and we enjoyed, just chopping it up and all that good stuff. And like I knew that the place closed at like 6 or 7, and it was very convenient that even when like we got to talking, and it's like everything became like that long goodbye where it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna let you go. Okay, well, how Julia's doing, like that thing. And then but we were able to like hop right in.
I think we was in and out less than 10 minutes, weren't we?
It was 5 minutes. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. Like I'm about to say, I don't think I was gonna say 5, but I would say that don't say. But I really do think we was in and out in 5 minutes. All jokes aside.
And online, they show you like when it's like when you come to pick up, they give you a fucking map that is like, this is how it's gonna work. You walk in here, you walk around here, you stay in here. This is the pickup area. You give them your phone, you give them your order number. This is they give you your stuff. You leave the end. Like it was so easy. I honestly, man, like. That was some dope shit. We also saw the Peloton building while we was over there too. Mm-hmm. So now we know, where all the money went from them bikes.
where they be doing the workouts in at the B&H place. I don't know if it's B&H or BH or B&H place. Even when you get ready to leave, it's a dude out there, but like exit this way. I was like, thank you, because I was like, how do you get out of here? They was like, nope, everything goes in this direction. So it's like they trying to herd as many people in and out of that thing. Like you was talking about how because we have places down south where they got like the only place down south where all of the registers be open is like Harris Teeter. Like everywhere else is like you said.
That's not even every Harris Teeter.
No, but that's true. That's true. Yeah, one of the busier Harris Teeters, particularly for Thanksgiving, and normally they open them all up for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and you be like, well, goddamn. But like normally you do get a sufficient amount of them open. But this was like really the first time where they was like, oh yeah, we got 32 registers. Yeah, we not fucking around. We trying to get y'all in and out. We don't want nobody standing around here because New Yorkers is like, we got places to be and things to do.
Yeah, so that's pretty much, we haven't, like I said, we haven't done much stuff. But yeah, that's been good, and I think we can kind of get into like the show stuff. Unless there's something else I'm missing out on, Karen.
No, not to the best of my knowledge. No, overall, like I said, the
I will say
go ahead.
this: people have been, hitting us up about getting up and doing stuff and going out. We not really planning on going out. I think it's gonna be like, maybe if people come by and hang out, like kind of like we did with like Ray Sani and Nick Jew,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we'll do a little bit of that. But between the show, working, and because like last time Karen was here, I was off, and it was
Mm-hmm.
it was
So we
last
could
week in New
schedule
York,
it right.
so it's just easier to be like, let's just go do everything all at once. We was meeting 3-4 people a day. That's not about what this is about to
Mm-hmm.
be.
Yeah, because
So
before we was kind of scheduling it out, but also we had the time, which is completely
yeah,
different.
so it's just I'm already got meetings for tomorrow that I'm looking at, like, oh, so we probably gonna be here for a minute. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a little different this time.
So
So
I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm trying funny not working, not
yeah,
not doing that. So it's going to be a lot of sleeping. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of doing nothing, a lot of resting, a lot of catching up on Netflix and things like that. Because the thing is, I just really missed you. So I don't care if we don't do anything at all. Like,
yeah.
like not trying to be fun. Like the purpose
No,
wasn't to go out and do
I was
things.
putting a lot of stress in my head thinking about the last time you up here, and like how I just had like a different surprise and a different thing to do every time. And I was like, almost like, dang, I even hit you up at one point, like, are you sure you want to be up here this long? Because between work, I don't think I'm gonna have the time or the energy to just like do a bunch of shit. But I think I missed you as well, and it was just
Hmm.
like, just being here with you to me is
Yes.
already fun and dope, and it doesn't have to be like a
Mm-mm.
fucking like every night was, because when you even tell people like, oh yeah, my wife's coming up, it's all like, and y'all gonna go to Central Park, and the y'all gonna go to the the Statue of Liberty. And I'm like, we did some of that stuff last time, but honestly, I think I'm just be happy to come back and do normal shit.
Yes, yes. And the thing is, all jokes aside, I know, there's people out there that don't get along with their mates and all that stuff, but I actually like you and
Right.
enjoy your presence and your company. So, to me, I just like the fact that, I get to see you every day and stuff
Yeah.
like that because I haven't been able to do that, And so, other than like through a computer or something like that,
Right.
like I hadn't been able to like physically touch you.
Mhm.
So in my mind, I'm like, well, yeah, I'm going to stay up here a little longer and just chill.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was all me. Just in my mind, it was just me putting expectations on shit that I don't even know where that came from. Because in reality, it's like, we don't have to do all that shit to
Mm-mm.
be happy. And if we wanted to come up here for a vacation, we can always just do that.
Mm-hmm.
Main thing for me right now is to do a good job.
Yes, yes, and and it's one of those things where, for me, like I said, and it was no stress. Like I said, I will probably just be chilling. Like I said, the quote unquote the most I might do is I seen a museum or something that I wanted
Mhm.
to see that's not far. Like I might do something like that, but it'll be up in the day where they're not packed and they're not busy and and stuff like that. Where it's not a lot of people, so I don't. And on top of that, I don't mind doing things like that.
Yeah, I already got hit with a few like it was funny. Like we watched The Last of Us last night, and I already got a few of like, are y'all podcasting this? And I was like, bruh, I'm writing
No.
it. I'm working on a TV
Mm-mm.
show. I'm juggling a lot of stuff. I don't like. We may do some podcasting, but I don't know if we're gonna do something that specific. And because I definitely don't have to time to rewatch and make notes and
Yeah,
write
yeah, because
jokes
you're
and
you're very detailed when
yeah.
we do
Because if
our
not, we just gonna be
recaps.
another one of these fucking podcasts that's just talking about it and shit. Like
Right.
I just don't want to be that. I would rather our shit be dope than just be like we did it because everybody said to do it. And honestly, like The Last of Us is so straightforward. I really feel like it'll be weird. Because I love that game and I love part two. And I replay them like every year. Um, but yeah, I don't know that I would do it won't be the same as like them Thrones and shit. So
Oh yeah, and it's also something where for me, I'm watching it for the first time. Like for a lot of people, that did not play the video game. So for me, I'm just kind of along for the ride. And I'm familiar with some of it just for the fact that I've seen you play the video games. But I didn't. You've actually paid attention and watched the story, and I didn't. So I am just I'm excited. And the first episode was excellent. I'm not gonna lie, it was really really good.
yeah, it was long, but it was good.
Yeah, and I was thinking, okay, it was worth the build up, and everybody was acting their asses off, so I'm here for it, and I'm excited for it, and I think it's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, I just ain't trying to turn it into work yet. So
Mm-mm.
pardon me, guys, but I'm kind of gonna. I like the loosey goosey schedule that I have right now of other things taking a backseat to doing the show, and I know y'all understand because y'all are cool, and those that
Mm-hmm.
don't understand just ain't meant to be around. So
Yeah,
let's get to
and most people do.
all right. Let's get to some news. That was funky. Let's talk about news, everybody. Twitter users may soon have to pay for usernames as the app struggles to keep the lights on.
I'm not paying for my you. If you want me to pay for my Twitter name, you must not want me to have Twitter. Then I'll turn that bitch off.
Why are all the ideas that they come up with since Elon Musk got there so pathetically desperate? Like I'm sorry, man. I don't care what people say. I'm not saying this man is smart.
He's not.
I don't have the evidence of it, and the stuff that I've seen put under scrutiny is all shit where it sounds like he took credit for other people's good ideas, and his smartest skill is just marketing himself as a genius, and people going, he must be a genius.
Yeah, and on top of that, all the people that was there that actually had the ideas and the things and all this stuff. Like you had an infrastructure there, and you purposely and strategically, knowingly, unknowingly, took out all these things, and then be like, "Well, then how do I make money?" It was like, "Well, bitch."
Yeah, what's funny is they had like $3.99 from me every month because
Mm-hmm.
before he was part of Twitter, they had Twitter Blue, and Twitter Blue allowed you to edit your stuff. It
Mm-hmm.
allowed you to put like a little delay on your tweet so that you could spell check and stuff like that. It allowed you to like some vanity stuff like change the color of your icon on your phone. It allowed you to have free access to certain news articles that were typically behind paywalls.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Obviously less ads, stuff like that. Like it just had some like cool features. And I always wanted an edit button. I like that tweet delay thing, stuff like that. And so, that was back in the day. I was like, sure. Well, when he took over, he was like, Twitter Blue is about buying a blue check, and you get a blue check, and it's gonna cost you $8, $20, no, $11. And so I started getting emails from Twitter that were like, your Twitter Blue is going away. And now keep in mind, I have a blue check, but I have a blue check because Twitter at some point thought I was a notable person. And his passive aggressive thing that he did is take away the thing that said this account has a check because it is newsworthy or notable in the area, whatever. It's different for different people, but it's newsworthy or something, and changed it into this one. This has a check, but it's a legacy check mark, and it may or may not be, whatever. So like basically negging you almost like a pickup artist at a bar, and trying to like, I don't know who the simple dumb motherfucker would be, but trying to get you to subscribe to this Twitter Blue thing. But then when you click on those, it says this person has a blue check mark because they subscribe to Twitter Blue, which honestly, I wouldn't want you to know that.
Right. Right.
If I bought my check, I would like people to think I was noteworthy. But you basically insult both sides. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna spend any money on a fucking check mark, or a check mark I already have, which I don't really care that much about, if I'm being real. But I'm not gonna spend that money because I know for a fact that it's worse to be looked at as a nigga that gave him $11 to have a check mark
Right.
than a person that got one and it was paying so they could edit tweets. So it's just, I don't know what the plan is, but every week I feel like there's a new thing that's just like, and who knows, these ideas, a lot of them have come to pass. So maybe this will come to pass, but bidding on usernames and taking people's Twitter handles and that that's crazy to me. But who knows? Maybe he'll do it.
Yeah, and also it's one of those things where people have set him down, going, "Dog, look at the money going out. We need money coming in." Like you've literally all the revenues and shit. People have paused revenues, advertisement. People have decreased advertisement because of all the shit that you're doing. Like you know that you are the cause of this, and then shit still got to run, and that has a lot to do with the chopping and the cutting of employees and shit because you don't just a lot of times you don't have the money to pay these people. And so you literally are running all the revenue away as much as you can. And now you're like, well, what can we do? So y'all just coming up with ideas and throwing them to the wall and hoping they stick. So whatever happens, you're like, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this, and nothing is working. And there's a reason why, because this is not what people ask for.
Yeah, I think also like people personalize shit so much these days that it's only become about whether you like or hate him as a person. And to me, it's not about, I think he is doing a bad job. Like that, and that's the long and short of it. Like, I don't care about the other stuff, but yeah, every time these ideas come out, I'm like, yeah, but not enough people are gonna do them, so it's not gonna generate the money. Like a lot of his plan sounds like whenever you talk to somebody that doesn't know much about business, like if I say to somebody, the blackout tip, our podcast gets about say $10,000, 10,000 downloads an episode. And they will go, oh my God, if you could get every person to give you $1 per episode, you'd be a millionaire within a month. And it's like,
that's not how that math works.
What makes you think that would ever happen?
You lucky you get 1 to 3%.
That's how you end up with the universal fan con shit. Is thinking every person gonna put in and do what? No. And so that's kind of how Elon Musk plan sound. It's always like, if we could get everybody to pay for a check mark, it's like, but everybody won't. You won't even get 1 or 2% of people that'll do that. Well, if everybody bids on usernames, you're not going to get a lot of people bidding on usernames. It's going to be a handful of people, and you need a $44 billion solution. You don't need henny penny, even
it's
$1 million.
It's like nickels and diming. It's like what you're doing is let's say you make quote unquote $200,000. That is nothing compared to the money. Like I said, that's nickel and diming your way out of the solution.
Yeah.
And it's not going to solve any problems. And
$44 billion, dog. Nothing he's proposed is $44 billion worth of shit.
Right. And also it's also one of those things too, to where he shut down a lot of the third party app access. People who had like their versions of Twitter that was not Twitter or owned by Twitter. And a lot of that is to quote unquote force people to come back to the Twitter platform, because he feel like if I get these people that are using these other platforms back on the Twitter site itself and shit like that, they would come back. But what's going to happen is that a lot of people like these apps because they're actually better than the Twitter app itself. Because truth be told, the only reason why the Twitter app and Twitter site has some of the features that it does is because these other apps were outperforming them, coming up with new features. They kept pushing the bar and pushing the bar. And people go, why the fuck would I be? I like Twitter, but y'all don't have gifts, or y'all don't have this, and y'all don't let me do this, and I can't do this over there, but these other things do. So I truly think he did that just to kind of force those people. You're gonna have a percentage of people to win, but you're gonna have a lot of people that are like, if I cannot use my app, I just won't use Twitter. Yeah. Like, the fuck is this?
Geico's $5.2 million payout to a woman claiming to have contracted HPV in a car insured by the company has been overturned. The Missouri Supreme Court overturned the Geico $5.2 million payout to a woman who allegedly contracted HPV in a car. I always thought this was ridiculous. I don't know how the one judge even ruled on her side.
Right.
I think it was some shit like Geico didn't treat it seriously enough, and the judge was like, "Well, then fuck it, y'all owe her the money." But it's like the reason they didn't treat it serious is because this is on its face ridiculous.
Right.
So yeah, I'm glad they overturned it, because I'm sorry, that shit, and it's not even out of some like, because I love Geico. It's just this shit was stupid, and sometimes people do stupid shit and shouldn't be rewarded for that dumb shit. Like, get the fuck. Like, but yeah, I'm sure, you know, they gonna try to do something too, but I'm glad they appealed that and won, because the Supreme Court was like, they should have been allowed to, Geico should have been allowed to intervene in the case. Since the company wasn't allowed the opportunity, the Supreme Court judge vacated the decision and sent the lawsuit back to a lower court. So yeah, I don't know, man, what that judge was thinking.
I don't know. That shit didn't make no sense.
Yeah. TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are reportedly out at GMA3 after a suspension and a relationship investigation.
Yeah, I can see. I understand why. It's one of those things where they was like, y'all are hot for the streets, and y'all are actually out in the streets.
Yeah.
So y'all are not making it. Y'all are not being quiet. Y'all are not making it so we can kind of just slide you back in. You're out here doing photo ops and photo shoots and holding hands and being in love. And it was like, well, good luck. Do that outside of this. Like, we don't want Good Morning America 3 to be y'all. We want it to be whatever the fuck we want to talk about today.
And they definitely turned up the heat. Like, they didn't go, okay, you know what, we hot right now, let's calm down. Like,
right.
They was like, let's be more out in the streets. And I think their thinking is well, you know what, we're consenting adults, and it may be an illicit affair or some shit, but this ain't a Me Too situation or some shit. So, you know, just because his ex-wife is hurt doesn't mean, and her husband's probably hurt, doesn't mean that we should have to pay blah blah blah. But the thing is, and this is the thing I think a lot of people don't understand about this job. Well, there's two things. Number one, the job is to make people like you.
Yes.
It's not fair, it's not right, but that's the fucking
those
job.
Types of job. The people that are like you.
The people that are good at it excel at those jobs, like Tamron Hall, and the people that aren't good at it, like Megyn Kelly, fucking suck at it. And one of the things that makes people like you is this idea that you're a quote unquote good person on the up and up. While our generation and some of us that don't even really watch these shows, we like the quote unquote mess of it and the gossip. Unfortunately, the thing they sell at that show is not, we got some messy ass hosts. They sell, here's a squeaky clean host, or, you know, like the guy you want to invite in your house, and we bring on all the guests of the day and your favorite celebrities, and you talk to them, and it's hard to sell that part of it when it's like, you know, everyone's thinking of it like a fucking cuckold film.
Yeah. That, and the simple fact that most of us, we fucking got work. So the people that are watching this, their fan base, the audience, these are like your stay-at-home moms and like your older people. Like, that's who they're trying to appeal to. And so it's like, why would they be trying to appeal to an audience base that half of us ain't in the fucking house watching this goddamn show?
Yeah, I think a lot of people that are like on some, man, I love this and I would watch now. It's a lot of those, one, I think a lot of them are joking or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, they're not in the demo. Like, and it's not worth the people that would, like, I have an aunt that honestly, all jokes aside, thinks that what he did is very disgusting and fucked up, and
a lot of them do.
And so she's, you know, people will come on my page and make jokes about it, and she'll always be like, nah, he should not have that job. And so then the second thing I was gonna point out, and this is the interesting thing about this whole investigation angle, he was sleeping with more than one person in that office over time when he was cheating on his wife. And I don't know, like, just because it's consenting, there's a power dynamic thing. And it's the same thing that happened with Ime Udoka. It's the same thing that happened with the dude from the Timberwolves. Same thing that happened with Tavis Smiley. At some point, people are going to be like, but with the power difference and the position, like, can it just be okay that this dude fucks people at work all the time.
No.
And I'm surprised that, because the latest update is that they've hired a lawyer to examine if racism played a role in their suspension, TJ and Amy. And I'm like, if y'all gonna ride this out, that might be the area y'all want to stay away from, because at some point the network ain't gonna have no choice but to be like, he was fucking everybody, and this dude was out of control, and he created an environment.
They're gonna put all your business out on the street, and then, it's one of those things where I don't know if it's true or not, but Gayle King, like, they were having things, but Gayle King was like, nigga, what you doing? Like, like, she was like confronting him, like, hey, quit fucking everybody at the goddamn job.
Yeah, so if he was wilding like that, they might want to. Anyway, we'll see if they decide to go that angle, because that's a lot.
Correct. And I understand considering adults and all this stuff, but this is why they have those rules. They're like, don't fuck your coworkers, because you're dealing with human beings. Human beings are messy. What happens when the shit turns left and the company has to deal with the repercussions, the consequences of all the fucking fallouts of hurt feelings and envy and jealousy? This is not our business. We're in the business of working. We are not in the business of dealing with your personal dysfunctions.
Yeah, I think, that's definitely a big part of it. So I'll be interested to see where they take all this shit, because we all know
the first thing they teach you in journalism school is don't be the story.
Don't be the story.
Don't be the story.
Speaking of being the story, Meek Mill, or as they call him across the pond, Meek Mills, for some reason.
Meek Mills.
That's what they call them on this podcast I listen to with these dudes from the UK. That was like that. Like, I think it's just a fraud. They can't help themselves. They don't want to say Meek Mills, but they just
Meek Mills. That sound better.
Every time they say Meek Mills, they're like, anyway. So Meek Mill went on Twitter after it was revealed that Lori Harvey is dating Damson Idris, who's the lead in Snowfall.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah. Yep. So she went from Michael B. Jordan, broke his heart, allegedly. And now she's dating Meek Mill. Now she's dating Damson Idris, and they went Instagram official. And so now that's a big, people was chiming in on both sides of that thing, and then fighting with each other on both sides of that thing.
Stupid.
I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but I'm wholly uninterested in that whole thing.
I don't even know. Be honest, I don't even know what that woman sounds like. She is a legend. She is an icon, honey. She got them on 3 to 6, 9 month contracts, and then she was like, you know what? I feel like moving on, and she got that motherfucking right to.
Yeah, she's decided to be like a socialite, and there's a lane for that. She ain't the first or the last.
Right.
She's especially not talkative. Like, she doesn't really seem to, like, she's not giving anyone a political opinion or even relationship takes. It's really the genius of the way she moves is how much people fill in the gaps for her and decide what she'll be. Because some of the stuff I read people that really love her write about her, it's low-key a little bit scary. Like, some of the stuff they write, because it's like, to me, I get that vibe. I always get oh, she's gonna let you down, because she's gonna be human one day, and one day she's gonna say something, because everybody always says something, and because y'all have built her up into something she's not, like, she
nor did she asked you to
that
do.
She didn't ask for.
Right, that's the thing. She don't be asking you to do this.
And you've been fighting with these niggas all day that don't like her. You're going to be highly upset if she ever slips up from the pedestal that she's on for you, because she represents something to you, whether it's breaking these dudes' hearts, whether it's freedom of choice with dating, whether it's some type of feminism, whatever it is. If she's never confirmed any of that. If she comes out and says some pick me shit or some whatever, I think she gonna get fried, and a lot of people will turn on her the same way. Like, I saw one thing where people are already mad at her because she had talked about being on a diet and working out twice a day and needing a 1,400 calorie deficit and shit. And people were like, well, mad about that, but it didn't catch on. But just, that could be what she's on. She might be into some shit like that. And it just, people like her because she's not talking, not because she is.
I agree, and and it's one of the things where for her, she starts the war of the sexes, and that's what a lot of the shit boils down to.
Mhm.
You have a lot of men that are hurt that feels like they desire her, or why she dating all these dudes. No,
Mhm.
okay, she got the right to. Dudes date a lot of women all of the time. Are you this angry and upset about dudes that just go through women? Do you have this same outcry and shit like that? No. Well then like, what are you talking about?
Mhm.
It's one of those things where it feels like when a woman, quote unquote, does it, it becomes a problem. And all the men, okay, so what? The men that she's dating, that my thing. There's nothing wrong with that. The fact that is the problem.
Mhm.
It's not the fact that she's dating all these women. I
Well,
mean, these
no,
men. You could
hold
care
on.
less.
The fact that is the point.
True, it's the
Like
point too. Yeah, it's the
their
point.
public relationship, well, they're more than likely some level of public relationship because she's a socialite, and it's
Right.
important that she be seen with a certain type of dude. It's like I always say, like IG models. The game isn't being discreet. That's stupid. Now, if you still on the being discreet, then you in the 90s. No,
Yeah,
the
you
game
are.
now is you need to be seen with the type of nigga that you want to be seen with, so that people will go, this is the caliber of person that this person needs to be around and attracts. And if you ain't got it like that, shut your broke ass up.
Right.
That's the point. And so,
Agreed.
I think it being quote unquote our business is, because they wanted to be our business.
Right.
You're taking these pictures, you're sending the blogs and the tabloids, information and shit. So I just think it's all just part of the game. I don't see the point of getting so upset over it one way or the other. And I definitely ain't about to argue with no niggas about it. It just
Ain't that the
seems
truth?
like I was telling this to Nicole yesterday. I was like, I was thinking, this is what I've been thinking lately. I feel like 75% of people are mostly either neutral or reasonable about almost all these topics.
Right.
But I think there's like 25% of social media, Twitter, and I'm talking about black spaces, but it may even extend to white spaces, but I don't be up in them like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's like 25% that is like 12.5% one way, 12.5% the other way. And those motherfuckers spend every day trying to fight each other and looking for content from the other side. So they find the person that's like, man, fuck her, man. These women need to learn how to go to church or some shit like that. Or she ain't listening to her daddy. And they go find that ashy motherfucker, and then they put him in everybody's feed and retweet and argue with him. And then we have to have this argument and this discussion as if it's every fucking dude woke up that morning and hates Lori Harvey, which is clearly not fucking true.
Right.
And
most could care less.
Or the other side thinks every single black woman thinks she's fucking, the queen of black women because she dated like 3 handsome niggas in a row.
Right.
And either both sides of that just seem to be like very in love with going back and forth with each other.
They're in love with arguing. Yes.
Yeah, that's the weird shit to me.
Right. And they're the ones that keep the shit going because, like I say, most people could care less.
Yeah. So, but Meek Mill came out and tweeted, y'all let that girl fuck anybody, right after this like went viral that she was dating Damson Idris.
Who's y'all let her? She's a grown ass woman. Don't nobody let her do shit. She doing the fuck she wants to do.
Right. And he sounds like one of them niggas that be saying that kind of shit.
That don't make sense.
Like those people that online that the men that were going viral for saying shit like that. He was one of the famous people that said some dumb shit like that. And he later, quote unquote, clarified.
Okay, what kind of clarification is this? You said what you said now.
Right. Like, what else could it be about?
I mean, you didn't use no big words that I had to go look up in the thesaurus, so I don't understand.
And his clarification was essentially, Damson, my real friend, he tweeted, trying to say like,
okay,
that him and Damson Idris are friends, so he wouldn't be disrespecting his good friend.
Don't do it on his behalf. Like I don't fucking understand. So Only reason why you apologizing is because they dating, so you don't want to quote unquote disrespect his property. That's basically what you're saying.
He could attribute the comments to horrible timing and PR shit. This only fueled people's belief that the Going Bad rapper was bitter in some way. A follow-up tweet provided further clarity, saying that Damson is his real friend. I mean, I think he really was saying some fucked up shit, and he took a shot at him. And I don't know if the internet or Twitter or Damson or somebody got in his ear, and then he was also like, "Oh man, I would never disrespect my friend." But I don't know, it seemed pretty fucking obvious to me what he was doing.
Right, and nobody twisted your words. In fact, nobody made you say anything. You could have kept that thought to yourself, and we would have been just fine.
Yeah, and he became the number one representative of all the dudes that think like that. But yeah, I am honestly not shocked that Lori Harvey moves the needle, because I really think it's not about her. It's about them niggas that argue with them women every fucking day.
Yeah, it's about these groups of people, and the group is a small percentage, y'all, but they argue so much and so vast and so heavy that eventually they will float into your timeline where you're like, how the fuck y'all get over here?
It doesn't take much to become like, a social media trend. Like, you don't need 100% of people to talk about something. You just need a few people talking about something to make other people talk about them talking about it. And that's when the shit takes over your timeline. And Lori Harvey, for some reason, has done this.
She's a lightning rod, boy.
She's reached that level because the people have hyper focused on her. But she seemed okay. I don't know her or anything about her except that she's publicly dated some pretty famous black dudes, Future, this dude, and Michael B. Jordan. I don't know that that's aspirational as far as like some type of cause or damning in some type. I don't think either one of those necessarily applies. We'll see.
She living her best life. Like I said, a legend and an icon. Like I'm fine. I don't have a problem with her doing this at all. Like for me, like I said, I'm in the 75%. I could give a fuck. I don't care.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get into some other stuff. Start wrapping this up. We already did KTG earlier today. So you know what? Why don't we do some guess the race? Let me pull up my guess the race music. Here we go. What time is it?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
That's right. It's time for Guess the Race, the game we go around the globe, ask people to guess the race of the people involved in these articles. And of course, Karen, who is live here, don't be looking at my screen, plays along, and the chat room plays as well. Why'd you even look over this way? I saw you look over this way as soon as I said that. So can you please not? Are you trying to cheat or
no? I can't look at you because I love you. This is happening right now.
Yeah, sound like some cheating going on. Could have been loving me the whole other hour. Now all of a sudden,
I was looking at you doing Keith and the girl too. You weren't looking at me.
Some of us is focused on the job. Armed customers stop husband and wife trying to rob a North Georgia gas station at gunpoint.
Oh no!
Police arrested a North Georgia couple when they tried to rob a gas station clerk before the other customers intervened. I guess these was the good guys with a gun.
Apparently so. This is why I pay at the pump.
Police say Sean Sutton, 39, pretended to be a customer, while his wife Melody Sutton, 39, waited outside in the car. Police say Sean Sutton wrapped a pair of women's underwear around his neck and face, pulled a gun on the store clerk, and demanded money. This caught the attention of two customers who were inside the food mart. The first customer pulled out his gun to stop the robbery attempt, while the second customer ran to get to his car to get his gun.
Oh, goddamn! We're about to have a three-way shootout.
Everybody got a gun.
Yup, this is what happens.
As Sutton tried to escape, police said a third customer who was armed came to help. Motherfucker ran to the Three Amigos.
Come
The first customer noticed that Sutton was disarmed and told the other two customers not to shoot him. Police said all the customers had legal permits for their guns. Police then arrived on the scene and tried to take Sutton into custody. However, they said he became unruly and ignored the commands to stop. That's when one of the officers had to stun him with a stun gun. They say he faces charges of armed robbery, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. And they said they found Melody Sutton inside the car on the side of the store. She faces charges of armed robbery, intimidation, and taking control of a substance. I don't know. That sounds like drug shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Karen, guess the race of this couple. They are the same race.
What's his name? Or
Sean Sutton and Melody Sutton.
White.
Karen's going with white. Let's check the chat room and see what y'all believe. North Georgia, Squid Billy White. Not that early Kyler. All them guns and no one shot. White like the underwear on his face. White and soon to be jail. Everyone involved in it's white because they're alive. White shenanigans. Quentin Tarantino directed white shit. The correct answer. Whitey going white. The correct answer is and everybody I think said the same thing. You all got it right. White.
For the fact that they had this standoff and nobody shot him, yes, white.
Yeah, that's some Raising Arizona shit. That yodeling song was playing in the background and shit. But yeah, it's just man, they got a lot of guns down there.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just pull out the heat like that. All right, let's go to the next one, Karen. You're 1 for 1. Jordan's fish and chicken owner frustrated by a copycat restaurant giving them a bad rap.
Oh shit, a copycat.
Now I may have to open this in another browser so y'all can hear the sound.
Okay.
Because I just realized that this is one that has some I think a video. So give me a second to see if I can get it to play. Probably gonna have an ad before it plays.
Of course.
They almost always do. Find out about your local Toyota dealer or some shit.
Your local Honda dealer.
Yeah. Wait, what? You hear that? What is playing?
Mm-hmm. I hear that.
Is it here?
Oh, something just rendered one of the rendered videos inside of the video on the side.
Like I'm trying to play something and it won't. Son of a. Okay. Oh, it's playing it. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Let me turn the volume up and start it over. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Jordan's Fish and Chicken says they want to make it clear.
Demonstrations continue for a local business tonight.
The owners of Jordan's Fish and Chicken says they want to make it clear they're not affiliated with the restaurant. Community members are trying to get shut down. Now, last week, we told you that Marion County Health Department closed a business with a copycat name. This all after a viral video showed an unclean kitchen. Food was on the floor, mice running around.
So the owner of the original Jordan's Fish and Chicken has several locations throughout the city and wants to make sure that customers know the difference. He says that this parasitic brand battle is really challenging.
I was really upset. Like I was very mad. I was very upset. Like I even did not even think for a second like this specific location has our sign up. So since we see these like couple of videos, we did take some serious actions. We call our attorneys like to just move forward and do the right thing.
Part of that includes taking legal action to ensure no one uses their name and is doing business under their name illegally.
And for now, the Jordan's Fish and Chicken and Sandwiches at 42nd and Post has a suspended license.
So guess the race of the owners of the original George's Chicken. Was it Chicken and Fish? Fish and Chicken.
Do we have their names?
Let me see. Did they say? They never said his name. Oh, Mo Yodis. EEDOUS.
Asian.
Mo Edius. I think is his name.
Middle Eastern? Oh, that don't sound American.
Okay. Let's check the chat room, see what they believe. Middle Eastern. Arabs. On the river, Jordan, Middle Eastern, Arab getting Arab money. Some saying Nick. Oh my God, the dude who owned the strip mall in Friday at the next Arabian Nights, unseasoned white. Well, the correct answer, I think the man looks like a seasoned white, so I'm gonna go with white, spicy white. That's him there. I think he may be Middle Eastern or something, but when he was talking, he looked white. Like it's everything, but his voice was white. So that's the right answer. That's what y'all getting. But you know what? In all fairness, I won't call any of you wrong. I think if you said Middle Eastern or something, you was close.
Yay!
So let's go to finally the bonus round.
Bitch was white. I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get
Gold
the race.
teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big thigh, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
A Long Island boutique owner ran a $40 million counterfeiting scam, which saw her iron Gucci, Chanel, and Prada and other designer labels on the cheaper items of clothing, then passed them off as the real deal.
Oh,
Lindsay Castelli Bullock, who owns Lindsay's boutique in Plainview, was arrested Tuesday with the 31-year-old now facing second-degree counterfeiting charges. The Mama 4 store was raided October 4th. There, Nassau County detectives are said to have found 22 printing press machines used to create the fake labels, which were heat sealed onto garments with an iron. Not the same thing they do at the flea mall. Not the
them shits get some water and start pressing peeling.
Not the same thing they do it off of Murchison Road.
Yo, you walk outside and get too hot, your little start fading. Is that goo?
Right.
Goo? Like the cheese gone.
Nearby were knockoff items of clothing and jewels that she has said that falsely passed off as being genuine Gucci, Chanel, Prada, Dior, UGG, and Louis Vuitton. They would take a hat, a $3 hat or a 50-cent item on that side here. They would seal it onto the hat, sell it for $300, said the police commissioner. Cops said the combined value of the counterfeiting clothing would have been $40 million had she managed to convince her customers that it was genuine and sell it. In addition to her sparse gray retail store, Bullock also allegedly ran the scheme through a private Facebook group called Shop Lenny's, which had 5,000 members. Once approved to join, prospective shoppers were bombarded with statuses showing Bullock herself modeling what she claimed to be designer gear, which she encouraged them to snap up. But her antics caught the attention of the cops, who began probing her business in April 2021. They called in the United States Postal Inspectors to help with the probe, which likely involved packages being seized so their contents then could be evaluated to see if they were genuine.
Oh, so they started ordering that shit. It was like, this ain't real.
They decided she was a scammer, and they raided her business.
Right, because guess what? They would know, because we do business with them. So, yeah, we know they probably got, a lot of these companies have like tags and codes and shit like that, like certain way the stitching go, all types of shit that they be like, this ain't real.
It also behooves the company to make sure that the products that are sold with their shit on them are legit. So I would imagine they ain't down with this shit either.
Yeah, they sure like, you ain't even a Gucci dealer.
Even though I'm sure a lot of bootlegging happens in the industry, I know they're not down with it. On September 20, well, I shouldn't say I know they're not down with it. I'm sure there's some malfeasance and shit that happens behind the set, but they wasn't getting none of this money, is my point.
Right.
On September 22nd, she posted a photo of herself in a ripped denim, light blue wash jeans, and gray blue button oversized blouse, sharing her latest update. Sit back, relax, and shop with me while sipping a glass of wine, she wrote. The new live schedule is set to start and starts 9:25. Here's the perks.
Hey, did that start on 9:25, baby?
On September 8th, she issued a post telling her inner circle to download her app and sign up, register by midnight. When they do, you receive $25 shop credit, which, I mean, of course you will.
Yeah, right. She was like, yeah, I will give you the cost the sunken cost. Everything else is gravy.
Take half off. Take it all off. Who gives a fuck? I paid $3, you know?
Right.
The posting had a picture that said, follow the steps. Everyone is a winner. On December 16, 2020, she went to Facebook to share her boutique's grand opening and also share a personal message to her audience. Sometimes you have to say F it and start over, not worry about what everyone will say or think.
She started over, but she was like, yeah, I'm going to start over with this fake shit.
Yeah, I'm starting over. When I bought these hats in bulk and these stickers in bulk.
Come on, went to Amazon and be like, let me buy $200-$300 hats worth of hats for that I actually paid 50 cents a piece for. You buy, you know what? I bet she went on Fat Kid Deals, but oh, they got a sale.
Block out the negativity and those that don't believe, she said. Here's the new beginnings and new ventures. The post gathered 414 views and 150 comments. Yeah, and looking at her pictures, they're very influencer heavy. I'll show you at the end. Last year, when she needed some extra help, she went to her social media looking for new hires. Who loves clothes, is outgoing, wants extra cash, fun to be around, and knows how to have a good time, she wrote. I'm hiring 5 of you to work part-time, flexible schedule, hourly plus commission, must be able to report to Plainview for your desired hours, work as much or little as you would like, but while you're working, you got to kill it. She said, I guess she said, interested, drop me a comment below. I'll send you the details. First of all, anyone who hires this way is shady.
Right. I was thinking, what are you trying to sell me? Like, you know,
you ain't never seen no post from us on some like 5 people reply to this. You can come to our house and work on the podcast. Like what? I'm not gonna vet you.
No background check. We not gonna check to be sure you ain't got multiple aliases.
I ain't say how much I'm paying you.
You fuck around and won't nobody ever see you again.
Right. I said you can work any hours as long as you killing it. Like that's how they got people on the slave ships.
Come on.
Wake up in South Carolina like, what's up with all this cotton? But yeah, the news of Castelli's counterfeit bus sent shockwaves through Plainview, Merrick, Dix Hills, and Bethpage area and other neighboring towns in Nassau County. I was surprised, said one woman who heard the news and told DailyMail.com that she had been to the store about a month ago. Some told Daily Mail that they remember when the store was under a different name. They also said they thought it was odd that all the items on the floor were on sale. Yeah, of course. It's all on sale, my guy. Everything must go.
It was like Gucci and Chanel. They was like, yes, why is this? You know, if I look online, this $1,500 purse now is $100. Something wrong.
Right. Well, it worked. One woman said she stopped at this boutique a few weeks ago. Everything was on clearance. That must have been the feds getting close. It went from on sale to clearance. Guys, everything must go tonight. All the evidence. Clothes, all the clothes.
That was like the people was like, we walked by one day, all of a sudden all the signs changed. Nobody else thought something was wrong with this. So like, it's the same store. They selling the same shit. The name changed.
She said when she returned to the boutique with her daughter, the store was closed. Castelli has released an on-desk appearance ticket. Oh, she has been released on a desk appearance ticket and due back in court November 2nd. Damn, she got till November 2nd to go back to boy. All right, Karen, guess the race.
What's her name?
Lindsay Castelli Bullock.
A white.
All right, let's check the chat room, see what they believe. White woman enterprise. I know a guy, Italian white. Where the scamming reside white. Iron on Barbie. Dog in a stroller pushing white. Blindside Becky with the bad business plan white. She got away with this for too long white. Italian princess. Correct answer is white. Y'all got it. The way they said she don't even gotta come back to November 2nd is crazy to me. Y'all, it's January. That's 10 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
That's wow. They think she did up to $40 million worth of shit. And they was like, yeah, we'll get to you in November. These are her posts online on social media, and they all had that influencer thing.
Yes.
Like she's wearing this bootleg shit and just like, you know, and you can tell like it's influencer stuff because, you know, influencers like, and these scammy ones especially bring you into like the business. Like, look at me, I'm sitting on boxes in my warehouse because I'm a business person. You know, just living my dream, guys. Come on by my boutique. And
yeah, they just showing you the glamorous part of the shit.
Yeah.
Wow. All that shit. You was like, yeah, why is everything 75% off?
Right.
And on top of that, like you would have to be spending some real money if this and the shit wouldn't be on sale and it would be on the floor.
The group had 5,000 members on Facebook.
Ooh, I would be mad if I bought some shit for her to find out that shit was fake.
You know what else too, low key, and I'm not saying it's racist or anything, but I think like it's that thing where groups, affinity groups and stuff, you have like it's easy to get people like this because white people often do have some type of hookup that they only sharing with each other. And I can see people being like, yeah, girl, Lindsay got the hookup, man. Don't tell nobody. Just join the Facebook group and show up.
We be outside of them circles. They was like, not y'all. Not, like, not the darkest.
You're not going to find, as much as black people love labels, you ain't about to find too many that got fooled by this shit. Like, we would have been out there like,
this ain't real.
No way you finding that. Matter of fact, they going to get the biggest discount because it's going to be a black woman that's like, can I talk to you over here for a second? I know all this shit is fake. Okay. Now I do want this purse, but I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, they rub that thing. They're like, this ain't real leather. How you know? I know what real leather feels like, and this ain't it.
Okay. All right, let's go to the last thing, sword ratchetness.
You you fuck around and go in there, like everything came with a free Gucci keychain. I don't understand why.
Right.
She printed that shit on.
She just threw extra Gucci in my trunk just to have it.
Right. Gucci keychain be like $150. You be like, but it ain't. It's just a little thing that say Gucci on it. Yeah, you still gonna pay $150.
Westboro police reportedly locate a sword during a traffic stop.
A traffic stop.
Eliezer Rosario Castillo, 18, has been charged with 2 counts of carrying a dangerous weapon, possession of an open container of alcohol in a motor vehicle, negligent operation of a motor vehicle, and speeding.
Oh, no.
January 11th, 9:55 p.m. An officer was on patrol when they saw a vehicle driving towards his location at 70 miles an hour. He activated his emergency lights, conducted a traffic stop. Rosario Castillo, who reportedly admitted to speeding, told police he had been driving to Chick-fil-A to pick up his friends from work, according to court documents. As the officers were walking to their cruiser, one officer allegedly shined his light into the rear of the vehicle, saw a light brown handle between the driver's seat and the center console, and they asked him what the item was. He said it was a sword. He told officers that the sword had been at his old house. When he moved, the sword was placed in his vehicle, and he said he forgot it was there. Police said they frisked him and found a dagger on him.
Oh shit, what's this, Assassin's Creed?
Right.
You just, he's like, look, I'm lazy. I'm not parkouring. I'm just going to drive to the next destination.
During our conversation, he admitted the sword was in case he needed to protect ourselves. When asked about the knife in his pocket, he said that little one just to protect myself. Officers reportedly found an open beer bottle, and then they arraigned him.
Yeah, I would arrested him too. He'd be like, "You look, I'm from the 18th century. I'm time traveling. This ain't really me. My real body is in 2035. Sir, you're under arrest."
A sword and a dagger is just some old school Game of Thrones.
I got my white outfit in the trunk.
Somebody was gonna get killed, and they probably saved somebody's life that
night. They probably Finna go up to the Chick-fil-A and fuck somebody up.
Yeah, I don't know what he was gonna do. I just know it wasn't nothing good. So,
Mm-mm.
all right, y'all. That's it for this episode live from New York. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll sporadically be back throughout the time that Karen's here, and
Mm-hmm.
we may be doing shows every day. We may be doing shows, but not that often. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.